What's up, everybody? Mono's Football here, back with another podcast video. So like I say, let's get straight into it. I'm not trying to waste nobody time. So as you can see in the title, I'm going to be talking about why Jayden Daniels will not have a sophomore slump. Around social media, a lot of what I'm seeing is that Jayden Daniels is going to have a sophomore slump, or the Commanders might not make the playoffs, or a lot of people have been telling me that, my Commanders season last season was a fluke. So today, I'm going to talk about why first of all, why our season wasn't a fluke, but most importantly, why Jayden Daniels would not have the sophomore slump. So, the first thing I got in my notes is that Cliff Kingsbury is back. Jayden Daniels having that continuity with Cliff Kingsbury is going to be really, really good. As y'all know, Cliff Kingsbury, he denied a lot of head coaching interviews and requests and things like that. He just wanted to focus on the playoffs, but most importantly, focus on our team. He will be back as an offensive coordinator, and that is really, really big. Not having to start over with a new coordinator and a new coach is really, really, really valuable. The next thing that I want to talk about is how Jayden Daniels literally gets better every single season. As y'all know, he started his freshman year at Arizona State. He had 17 touchdowns to 2 interceptions in his freshman year. The second season, the 2020 season, was a COVID season, so I think it got cut short, but he had 5 touchdowns to 1 interception as a sophomore. In his junior year, he had 10 interceptions to 10 picks. So that's like the outlier. That wasn't a good season, clearly. But when he went to LSU, he had 17 passing touchdowns to 3 picks. And then in his super senior year is what I call it, because they got that another thing of eligibility because of COVID. He had 40 touchdowns to 4 picks and 1 Heisman. And then the following year, he goes out and wins Rookie of the Year. 25 touchdowns and 9 picks. And that's not even including the rushing touchdowns. So as you can see, he has a constant way of just getting better. He doesn't get worse. He doesn't have slumps, is what I'm trying to say. Just besides, his junior year. That wasn't really good, but he gets better every single season. The next thing I wanted to talk about is that he's not a one-dimensional quarterback like CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud is just a pocket passer. Jayden Daniels is more than a pocket passer. He's a pocket passer, but he can also run. He's really what they call a dual threat quarterback. So people say that CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump. I don't think CJ Stroud had, what I would say as a slump. I think that his team was really injured. As y'all know, Taking Dale had that horrific injury. Nico Collins missed a lot of games. And CJ Stroud offensive line was not healthy at all. The whole Texans team wasn't healthy at all. And, I think that played into CJ Stroud not having as good as his season as his rookie year. But the Texans still went out and won a playoff game. And I think that the Texans are going to be a really dangerous team if they keep being healthy. But that's besides the point. Like I said, he's not a one-dimensional quarterback. He's harder to stop. You know what I'm saying? If you're a defense or you're a defensive coordinator and you game planning for a quarterback, it's going to be easier to stop a one-dimensional quarterback. Jayden Daniels, he has a great running ability, but also a great passing ability, which is really crucial to his success. The next thing I also wanted to talk about is that he has great poise and decision making, and that is something that you cannot teach. You can teach, but to an extent. You gotta have that in you. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like Anthony Richardson. He doesn't have the poise and the decision making of a Jayden Daniels. So I think that also is gonna play into why he won't have a sophomore slump. Imagine if Anthony Richardson had the decision making and poise of Jayden Daniels. If it was that easy to teach, they would have been teaching him that. But they can't, because he don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just more reasons. Like, he can run, he can throw. Like, you can't stop that, bro. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about is his offensive fit into our scheme. He's like a perfect fit into our scheme. He landed into the system where quick reads, RPOs, play action, design quarterback runs are really valuable to what we have to do. A lot of the times where quarterbacks, when they don't succeed, is because their coaches are trying to put them in a system that they don't fit. You know what I'm saying? They try to make them be a quarterback that they're not. In our system, we're asking Jayden Daniels to play to his strengths. A lot of quarterbacks are not in systems that allow them to play to their strengths, and that's why they don't succeed. So I think that Jayden Daniels being in a great offensive fit with an offensive coordinator that's coming back, I think that's going to play into another reason why he's going to go crazy this year. If you keep up with my videos, I have Jayden Daniels winning MVP. That's what I said in my video. I'm not going to lie. I think I changed my answer. I think Jayden will be really good, but I think MVP is like kind of strong. I kind of want to stand on what I say, but I think that Joe Burrow is going to have a really good season too. He might win MVP. If Jayden Daniels don't win MVP, it's definitely going to be Joe Burrow. But I'm getting besides the point. Jayden Daniels being in the system that's built for him is going to play into why he won't have a sophomore slump. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is his supporting cast. His supporting cast got way better. We added Debo Samuel. We added Josh Conley Jr. Overall, his supporting cast is better than what it was last season. Our offensive line is better. Our receivers are better. If Terry comes back, actually when Terry comes back. Terry is not going nowhere. We're going to resign Terry. So, Jayden Daniels having better receivers, better offensive line. And, we got that running back that they're hyping up that we got in the 7th round. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if Jayden Daniels have a better supporting cast, he's going to be in the same system that he was in last year, but he has more experience in that system. If he keep on like having his great poise and decision making, and if he continue to get better every single season like he has, like I just don't see no reason why I don't see a reason why he will have a sophomore slump. But the last thing that I had was that he has a high work ethic. So I just saw an article to come out that he was talking about how he did a lot of self-scouting over the off season and how he looked at his weaknesses so he can avoid a sophomore slump. But also, I watched a lot of Jayden Daniels interviews, Commander interviews, Dan Quinn interviews, and a lot of the things that they say, like they said the same thing, that Jayden Daniels is the first one in the building, him and Bobby Wagner. You know what I'm saying? They are also the last to leave. And Bobby Wagner is a future Hall of Famer, and I think Jayden Daniels will eventually be a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? But they have that work ethic. A lot of players don't have that work ethic, especially after they get paid all those millions. They just chill out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want this video to be too long, but like I said, Jayden Daniels will not have a sophomore slump. I'm going to read the reasons back to y'all. Number 1, Cliff Kingsbury is coming back. So like I said, having that continuity. Number 2, he gets better every single season. Number 3, he can run and he can throw, and he has great poise and decision making. Number 4, his offensive fit. He's in a system that is designed for him and that plays to his strengths. The next one is his supporting cast. His supporting cast got better. You cannot sit here and tell me that his supporting cast got worse. That's not the case. And then lastly, that he has a high work ethic. And if you take into account all the things that I said, I think I convinced you that he would not have a sophomore slump and that Jayden Daniels is going to have an amazing season. Hopefully MVP, since I'm a Commanders fan. But if not, I know he's going to make all Pro Bowl, and hope he leads us into a deep run into the playoffs like he did last season. But I want a Super Bowl. But yeah, thanks everybody for, tuning into my videos. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one. And yeah, peace.